Chapter 4. Virtual staff versus in-house staff. The scalability of a firm depends heavily on the staff and their capabilities. Often firms can't scale because they can't find qualified staff, or they simply can't afford them. To address these challenges, we break down the firm's day-to-day tasks and determine which areas could benefit from virtual staffing. Note that virtual staffing and outsourcing, which we cover in the next chapter, are not the same. Virtual staff covers dedicated full-time employees who use your law firm's email domain, phone number, and case management software daily. Outsourcing, on the other hand, is a paid service provider whose role is to work on a specific task or project as a contractor. In short, your virtual staff is just as much a part of your firm as your in-house staff, while your outsourcer is solely responsible for handling tasks sporadically as they come. Now that we understand the difference between hiring a remote virtual staff and paying a service provider to outsource specific projects and tasks, I'd like to touch on some of the benefits of moving forward with full-time virtual staff. For starters, when a law firm decides that they have a position in the firm that they need to fill, the first consideration is finding out where this person lives and deciding if it's worth it to them and the firm to commute to the office daily. This is huge because you have now narrowed down your pool of candidates from hundreds of thousands to maybe 100, if that. And that's not even considering our next point, which is, for the work that this employee is doing, can I justify paying them a competitive salary when I know they can go work at 100 different law firms within a 25-mile radius? When considering moving forward with virtual staff off the bat, you have now opened the pool of candidates capable of filling roles within your firm, without having to worry about pay or commute. Now that we know that we can increase our reach with virtual staff, let me explain how we know that virtual staff work for the legal industry. Over the past few years, because of the pandemic and quarantining, we have now discovered that in many industries and professions, it is no longer a requirement for productivity to have your employees come to the office. We have seen this to be especially true in the legal industry. Now, this isn't the case across the board for all practice areas. However, I have seen firsthand the effectiveness of law firm employees working from home, and I can promise you that in most cases, these employees become far more efficient and can thrive in their remote environment. Before we continue, as a disclaimer, it is important you keep in mind that shifting from strictly employing in-house staff to getting your feet wet with virtual staff requires flexibility and patience. Once you're ready to take the next steps, start to brainstorm the roles you are looking to fill and, more importantly, the tasks associated with these roles. Once you can decipher what kind of work must be done in the office and what kind of work can be done remotely, you'll be able to start sourcing individuals capable of executing your firm's tasks remotely. From my experience in the legal industry, almost regardless of law firm size, I have pinpointed a handful of positions and tasks that could and should be delegated to virtual staff. These positions include a receptionist, intake specialist, junior case manager, document retriever, demand writer, executive assistant, and content creator, social media marketer, just to name a few. These positions can be filled by hiring virtual staff from all over the world and at a discounted price in comparison to what you would pay someone locally. For example, virtual staffing for these positions can cost anywhere between $1,700 per month to $2,500 per month, whereas local staff doing identical work would cost anywhere from $3,500 to $4,500 per month. Furthermore, with virtual staff, you save on benefits, employment taxes, office space, parking fees, and so on. So much so that many of the law firms we've worked with have started with one virtual staff, and due to saving so much on employee salary, within 1 year, they were able to acquire more than 40 virtual assistants. In addition to expanding your candidate pool, growing your practice, and saving money, by hiring virtual staff from around the world, you can source for employees who speak multiple languages, allowing you to cater to a larger clientele base. I'll include below additional benefits not mentioned above. Some of the benefits of hiring virtual staff. Flexible scheduling. Your virtual staff can be scheduled to work on your time zone at your desired hours, including the weekend and American holidays. incredibly task-oriented with skills in cultivating reports and tracking company analytics. No terminations cost, no employee benefits, inexpensive to add or replace virtual staff, completely tracked and managed by automated systems. Call center versus your 24/7 virtual staff. Law firms traditionally use answering services or call centers to answer calls. The problem with this approach is multifaceted, but one big issue is that a faceless and unknown individual is answering on your firm's behalf, minimizing the relationship between the firm and the client. You never know when a six-figure or seven-figure call will try to reach you. People in a call center don't know you or how your firm operates, so they are unable to provide the level of support that these types of clients require. Virtual staffing is a way to replace call centers. With dedicated virtual staff, you can train and incentivize remote workers and instruct them on how to take a lead and properly retain a client for the firm. Another benefit of working with virtual staff is the flexibility it provides the firm. You can have your virtual staff clock in at any time, clock out at any time, and there are no set or prefixed hours to honor. They can also work on weekends, allowing your law practice to be accessible around the clock 24/7. Additionally, with the savings and flexibility offered, virtual staff can fill positions that firms typically don't have internally. For example, you can hire virtual staff to focus on client retention and act as a client advocate. They can contact clients on a consistent basis and ensure that their needs are being met and that they are happy with the services your firm has offered thus far. In addition to following up with clients, your virtual staff can also collect reviews and testimonials for the firm and maintain a high quality of service at a low cost. It's no surprise that times have changed, and although the legal industry has been hesitant to hire virtual staff in the past, today it seems ridiculous to not give it a go. In fact, when you consider large corporations like banks or credit card providers, most of the time, when talking to an agent from their call center, you're speaking to someone outside of the company with limited access to its data. It also takes a few levels of escalation before you can speak to someone from inside the company who can assist you with your request. With virtual staff, these issues are almost obsolete as they are dedicated, trained, and are part of the firm.